What's up, everybody? This is Rio Pesino for the Reboot, and on this episode we're going to be talking about women in gaming and their role in the industry. Now, we went to a number of events and spoke to a number of people, including the Frag Dolls and the founder of Women in Games International. We'll have that story for you guys in just a bit, but first let's go ahead and take you to a segment we call The Wrap. And to kick things off, we're going to talk about a game called Halo 3. Halo 3.
This ain't good. Damn. How far did he fall?
2 kilometers. Easy.
Stay sharp. Radio for Vito. Heavy lift gear. We're not leaving him here.
Yeah, you're not.
Halo fans can now officially finish the fight. The worldwide release of Halo 3 took place this week, with tens of thousands of retailers around the world celebrating the launch of Halo 3. Microsoft also held a number of pre-launch parties from around the world. Pharrell was actually at one in the UK. I was actually at one at the Microsoft Silicon Valley campus, and many at the event were calling Halo 3 the biggest gaming launch in video game history.
We thought, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to give everyone a chance to play Halo 3 just before Midnight Madness hits, right? So that's the real, epiphany we had. We said, hey, why not get all our friends and our friends' friends to come over, right? And so we really targeted a bunch of people.
This is just huge. I mean, on Halo 2, we were real proud of the fact that it was the single highest grossing day in entertainment history. We're going to break that. We're going to shatter that on Halo 3.
Now that the game is released, will Halo 3 live up to the hype? I'm going to go ahead and bunker down in my room 24/7 playing this game so I can give you a review of Halo 3 on the next episode of The Reboot, so stay tuned. After months of complaints from gamers playing the PlayStation 3, Sony has finally decided to bring back rumble feedback to its PS3 controller. Now, the new DualShock controller is expected to come out in Japan in November and in North America by next spring. Sony also announced that it is delaying the release of its highly touted PlayStation Home. PlayStation Home is their version of Second Life. You can actually go through a virtual world, download movies, download music, and also download arcade games. Sony PlayStation Home was originally scheduled to be released by the end of this year. A recent report by Media Create found that sales of the PlayStation Portable have skyrocketed in Japan. The PSP sold over 95,000 units in the week ending September 16th, up from over 15,000 the week prior. In comparison, the Nintendo DS sold almost 80,000 units. Now, the reason behind the recent popularity of the PlayStation Portable, some people are saying that it was the release of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. Now, when I was in 6th grade, all I was thinking about was getting my homework done, playing at recess, and making sure I wasn't getting in trouble by mom. This other 12-year-old actually founded a company called PlaySpan, and PlaySpan has recently received $6.5 million in Series A funding. PlaySpan is an online goods seller, and their goal is to be the official commerce provider of MMORPGs. Well, the founder of this company, his name is Arjun Mehta. You want to know how he discovered the company? When he was in 5th grade, he was playing people online, stealing their money by kicking their butts in online video games. Who would have thought a 12-year-old could make $6.5 million? I can't even make that today. And that's the wrap.
I'm Alice. I'm Jamie. What's your name? I'm Jamie. We're Women in Gaming and you're watching Reboot. Yeah!
You know, I'd love to get my ass kicked by a female in an FPS. I think it's wonderful.
And the funniest thing for me is to tell them, you just got owned by a girl. Oh, and then they leave.
Hey, gamer nerd chicks are hot, so, you know, no one complains. Edit that part out, my wife will see it.
And back in the day, your typical gamer was your 18 to 25-year-old male. Today, things have changed. There are more women gamers out there. There are also women organizations that promote video games. You got groups like the Frag Dolls and the PMS Clan. Simply put, women gamers are on the rise, and women in the industry are on the rise as well. Okay, it's not like places we visited like PAX in Seattle or GDC in Austin are now dominated by women, but their numbers are up.
Well, certainly traditionally, gaming has always been a lot more, male gamers, and it's been this sort of oversampled market of this, 18 to 24-year-old male.
I don't know. I don't want to get mobbed later when I say, like, girls were playing with Barbies and guys were playing with G.I. Joes, and G.I. Joe kind of stepped up into an action game, then kind of step up to an action game, and I think that they were maybe slow to pick up on what games girls might like to play, but they've really turned it around.
When I started back those years ago, the absolute feeling was girls do not play games, absolutely. That feeling was changed by Barbie. Barbie came out and sold 600,000 units right out the door, beyond anything any game had ever done.
As the chair of the Women in Games International Steering Committee, Sheri Graner says even with the gains that have been made, it's still difficult for women to find work in the business.
We still hear occasionally, we don't really want to hire any women because they'll spoil our fun. That's always the great line. Most companies have 1 or 2 or 3 women in them, and they find that they get shouted down in meetings, that their concerns aren't taken seriously because there's not enough critical mass, if you would, to give them weight to say and to stand up and to talk about what they think and what they believe, and to have a big enough influence in the design and development of these games.
I think there was a lot of barriers and a lot of stereotypes that really prevented them to get into the industry, and we're really seeing a surge in both females in the industry from a professional perspective as well as female gamers.
And with that increase in the number of women in gaming comes the emergence of a number of women gaming clans.
If you run into the Frag Dolls here, don't challenge them to anything. They'll kick your butt at anything, hands down.
I'm Roulette of the Frag Dolls, we are Ubisoft's pro gaming girl team.
My name is Amy Brady, also known as Valkyrie of the Frag Dolls.
When I was playing online, I started with EverQuest, was like one of my first online games. I was the only girl that I knew who was playing.
We're all just nerds in a basement, in a closed floor, everything's dark. Some of us might be that way, this does happen, but I don't think there's a stereotype anymore. The only thing that's changed, I see, is it's cool now to be a nerd.
So we have a lot more people, women who are seeing this as like a valid social pursuit or entertainment thing that they can do. It's not just the boys toy chest thing anymore.
Girls don't have any trouble with violence. I've got the studies, we've done the research, so long as it's not violence for violence sake. That's boring for girls, and so you need to reach beyond that to develop games that will appeal to a broader market than just the 15 to 25-year-old white male.
We have a program, Microsoft Gamer Chicks. And what the idea of that is, chicks don't want to come into Uno, hey, are you good looking, lift your shirt on. That's stupid and immature and childish. So this is sort of a safe, it's not a clan, but it's a safe place where they can go and they can hang out and they can feel very welcome, because that's the biggest obstacle to entry is, am I going to get harassed by the 13-year-old kids online who can only think about one thing?
We're all getting older, we're getting married, we're having kids, and we're industry professionals now too, and it's we're getting older, so the demographics pushing up as well, and we're trying to get our parents playing too.
I think the casual game push, karaoke games, dance games, most Wii titles that are casual, they're drawing in more women. So again, it's a good thing because there's a massive market out there that we're not getting. So we need to learn how to make games that women actually want to play.
And especially with Nintendo and the Wii, that's about the only game I can get the console my wife will play is the Wii. She loves it, it's fun, and it's just a new way of interacting.
If there's one message you'd like to send out to people online, what would it be?
To people online or to girls online?
Everybody online in regards to women and their role in gaming.
Always make sure you ask yourself, but what if my player is female? Always.
Well, that just about does it for this show. On our next episode, I'm going to go ahead and give you my review of Halo 3, so make sure to go ahead and check that out. If you want to comment on this show, you can right here. Also, if you want to go ahead and take a look at our blog, you can check that out at www.rebootshow.com. We're actually going to be putting extra interviews, footage that we couldn't use in previous episodes, and post it on the blog. Also, almost forgot, if you want to play me online, you can. My screen name is REE10. You can find me on Xbox Live. I'll most likely be playing Halo or NBA 2K8 when that comes out. I'm Rio Pesino for The Reboot.